What happens when a prestigious U.S. military academy publicly fumbles over facts involving a Trump nominee? You get a public apology, media drama, and a hefty side of embarrassment. In this video, we're unpacking the West Point blunder that sparked political outrage and media chaos, showcasing a huge facepalm and a media outlet that tried to do a gotcha piece on Pete Hegseth. And when it blew up in their faces, they praised themselves for not running the piece because of doing real journalism. We'll get into all of that and more. You are not going to want to miss it. Let's get into it. Hey guys, it's me, Rich. Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, click the button to become a subscriber to the channel, hit the notification bell, smack that like button because it actually helps us with the algorithm. Plus, we host live streams every Friday night at 6 o'clock Eastern, where we read the week's craziest news and add a dose of humor, sarcasm, and conservative common sense. Join us this coming Friday. You'll have a good time. Now, let's get into today's story because this one is just too good. Here's the deal. West Point, yes, that West Point, had to issue a formal apology after wrongly accusing President-elect Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, of lying about his admission to the academy. It sounds ridiculous, right? Why would they do that? Initially, West Point claimed Hegseth wasn't even on their radar back in the day. But after some, shall we say, encouraged fact-checking, they released, oops, Hegseth was offered admission back in 1999. He simply decided in the end not to attend. So what happened here? Was it sheer incompetence on the part of West Point, or was there something more calculated? Does this mean that departments, institutions, and agencies that are supposed to work at the pleasure of the president, or at least to defer to him for America having elected him to office, are going to do the exact opposite in the manner they did in 2017 forward? I think the answer to that is hell's yeah, because the deep state, lefties, and just downright awful people I'm talking about can't help themselves because they are in a primal survival mode, if you will. It's truly sad to see because these institutions violate their mission statements when they behave this way. And now, after all of us having lived through it before, we see that they might not have learned their lesson from their past behavior, giving the middle finger to the American people and completely rejecting the idea that a functioning constitutional republic gives the right of its citizens to elect the people they want to represent them. These people are all sore losers. Trump has identified that fact, and that's why he will deal with them through Schedule F, where he will replace them with people who understand that they work for the president. Now, here's the thing. ProPublica, a totally left-wing rag, ready to break what they thought was a blockbuster expose, a gotcha piece, if you will, contacted Hegseth with some rather pointed questions. They basically accused him of lying about getting into West Point, giving him just 1 hour to respond. A single hour. Who keeps 20-year-old acceptance letters handy, let alone digs them up in under 60 minutes? And just when it seemed that like Hegseth might be cornered, he dropped the hammer. Hegseth posted his 1999 acceptance letter on X, silencing the critics and turning the spotlight squarely back on West Point and ProPublica. Now, let's pause here for a second. Imagine the layers of irony. ProPublica, the so-called guardians of truth, got caught parroting a claim that wasn't even verified. Meanwhile, West Point, an institution that prides itself on precision and excellence, failed to do a simple database search. Why? Speaking of West Point, they quickly issued an apology saying, a review of our records indicates Peter Hegseth was offered admission to West Point in 1999, but did not attend. An incorrect statement involving Hegseth's admission to the U.S. Military Academy was released by an employee on December 10, 2024. Translation, someone didn't bother double-checking before making a public declaration. They continued, upon further review of an archived database, employees realized the statement was in error. Hegseth was offered acceptance to West Point as a prospective member of the class of 2003. The Academy takes this situation seriously and apologizes for this administrative error. Nice save, guys, but here's the thing. The damage was already done. Again, why? When Hegseth produced his acceptance letter and exposed the Academy's blunder, ProPublica had to shelve their scoop. They later explained, quote, reporters do their job by asking tough questions to people in power, which is exactly what happened here. Responsible news organizations only publish when they can verify, which is why we didn't publish a story once Mr. Hegseth provided documentation that corrected the statements from West Point. Sure, but shouldn't verification come before sending those scathing emails and gotcha questions? American journalist and author Jesse Eisinger even threw in a Journalism 101 lecture for good measure, writing, "The first rule of good journalism is no surprises. You must give the subject of a potential story a fair chance to respond to all of the salient facts in the story." A ProPublica reporter emailed Hegseth's attorney, Timothy Parlatour, on December 10, writing, quote, "We're preparing a story about Mr. Hegseth's claims that he was admitted to West Point and that the school told us that is not true. Why did Mr. Hegseth say he got into West Point when that is not true? How can Mr. Hegseth be Secretary of Defense given that he has made false statements about getting in to the military's most prestigious academy?" And what about West Point's spokesperson, Teresa Brinkerhoff? She's the one who gave ProPublica the incorrect information in the first place. Hegseth's attorney called out her actions and even hinted they might violate federal law. I mean, talk about raising the stakes. To add fuel to the fire, Senator Tom Cotton jumped in, calling this whole debacle an example of egregiously bad judgment and demanding an investigation. His words, not mine. So what's the takeaway here? Whether it's careless errors or a coordinated attempt to smear Trump's pick, one thing is clear. This isn't a good look for West Point, ProPublica, or anyone involved. Let this serve as a reminder. Always double check your facts, especially when the stakes are this high. All right, thanks for watching. Hit that notification bell if you want to stay up to date with stories just like this one. And don't forget to like, comment, and become a subscriber. I'll see you in the next one. Spread the word.
Now you're begging again. Breaking up shouldn't be this hard. I just wanted a friend, so you can keep your heart, keep your heart. No more fights and no more debate. I'm out of ways to love you.